Hey, what's up guys, and yes, I'm back. I've been gone for some time now because I've been terribly ill. But I'm back now guys, and I'm here to give you your what ifs as usual. I've already posted a brand new series over in the making 3 of What If Naruto had the 6th eye Sharingan, so go ahead, check that out and enjoy. And I post a brand new movie over in May Prince. What if Naruto awakened all the abilities of the Elementor? So go ahead, check that out and enjoy as well guys. And if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels, and today I'm going to be giving you What If Naruto Was Neglected with Lost Power and Conqueror's Haki, guys. So go ahead and get this one to 100 like as usual, share it to all of your friends in your social media platform, and yeah, without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now, guys. So the last time we left off, Naruto was born to a civilian mother named Maki, as she took care of him her entire life. They didn't have the most stable background, in fact, they were poor. As Naruto used to go with his mother, she was a cleaning lady. One day Naruto followed her as he saw her went towards the Fort Hokage's gate, until a man came out and smacked his mother, telling her to leave. As Naruto was angry and upset, his mother had not been the same after that, and sometime later she died. He was the only one to attend her funeral. Returning home, Naruto was depressed, and Naruto didn't have anything left. He was empty. He didn't see any reason to go on until he found his mother's diary. It turns out that his mother was from a wealthy background. However, they wanted to marry her off to a man that was twice her age and a man that she did not care for. Minato Namikaze was not a good person in the slightest. He saved his mother once. Upon saving her, his mother started to grow affections for him. His mother declined the marriage proposal and ended up coming to Konoha to be with Minato, and thus Naruto was born. However, upon finding out that his mother was no longer in control of that wealth, Minato, well, he turned his back on her. She tried to go back to her family, but they also turned their back on her for leaving as well. The day that she went by his house where she was slapped, she had begged him to help. However, he was now married to Kushina Uzumaki, and he had a daughter named Naruko. So he didn't want her or her son involved in his life. Naruto heard that, Naruto tried to get into the academy, as Naruto was planning on doing all sorts of things. However, Minato denied the request on every terms possible. He did not want Naruto to find out the relationship that he had with Naruto, unaware that Naruto already knew what the relationship was. So Naruto decided to leave Konoha. He left Konoha, but he was attacked by a pack of wolves. In the wilderness, he was alone as he was attacked viciously, as Naruto was almost ripped apart. However, in that moment, Naruto released a strange burst of energy that stunned all of them, as Naruto was determined to survive. However, he was already beaten and losing a lot of blood as he ended up collapsing. A doctor found him and gave him a blood transfusion, but Naruto's body was susceptible to fast evolution. Naruto also found a fruit that he had eaten. Turns out that that was not a normal fruit, as it gave him immense powers, and the doctor infused his blood into Naruto, further along that evolution that was inside of him. Since then, Naruto had learned everything that he could from the doctor, as Naruto had the power of a room, where he had his medical and research things inside, as Naruto also had the ability to switch anything that he liked in his space. When he called the word room out, Naruto was immensely powerful at a young age. Going on, Naruto made a name for himself, as he started to help people. As Naruto didn't want people to feel how he used to feel when he was younger, so he helped the people that needed help. However, when some guys tried to kidnap him to force him to help some bandits, Naruto turned his wrath upon them. that gave him the name the Sergeant of Death. As Naruto made his way through the Elemental Nation, Naruto ended up making friends with a group of ninjas. It was Haku, Zabuza, and the Demon Brothers. As they've been together for some time now as Naruto, save Haku and the both of them ended up getting together, as they were now boyfriend and girlfriend. Naruto went towards the Land of Spring to secure homes for them so they no longer had to run, because they're running from ninjas of Kiri, the hunter names. As Naruto ended up saving Koyuki and freeing her kingdom, as she gave him the scrolls to give back to the others. However, when Naruto got to the bridge, the Demon Brothers were nowhere to be seen. As Naruto saw Haku, but Sasuke stood over her. The hate that Naruto gave him sent Sasuke flying as he saved Haku, who gave him a kiss as she was so happy to see him. As Naruto came face to face with Team 7, Naruto quickly intervened and Team 7 was outmatched. Gato came on the bridge, as he tried to betray them. However, Naruto showed them why he shouldn't have done that. It was a bloodbath. The name Sergeant of Death fit him very well, as Naruto proceeded to massacre them all, without hesitation. With that said and done, Naruto moved on. Sasuke kept on claiming that he was an Uchiha and all that. However, Naruto showed him the Mangekyo Sharingan, shocking the hell out of Sasuke, as Naruto told him that he'd kill Itachi. Sasuke heard that he lost it as he attacked Naruto, but Naruto knocked him back like he was nothing, as Naruto ended his career, making sure that Sasuke would never be able to have kids, to end the accursed bloodline of the Uchiha, as he and his mother was the only one that survived the massacre. With that out of the way, Naruto opened his room as he stepped in with the others. Before he left, he said something to Naruto about parents that got her thinking. So with that out of the way, inside the room, Naruto healed up both Zabuza and Haku, tell them about the scrolls and what happened at Land of No Spring, as they want to know about the Sharingan. As Naruto went into a flashback, he had faced off against Itachi and Kisame, who wanted to recruit him for the organization, as they were going to force him to join if he said no. However, Kisame was too brash. Unaware of what Naruto could do, Naruto punched him, and Kisame's body exploded. Naruto had stolen 5 bloodlines from 5 corpses over the nation. This bloodline was from the Hidden Stone. Given Naruto close friendship with them, Naruto had taken the bloodline off the explosion release, and he used it to kill Kisame. Once you had stronger chakra than a person, you can make them explode. That is exactly what Naruto did. He then turned to face Itachi. So yeah guys, basically let's split off. You guys can switch across the playset for yourself, so as we jump right into this. Begin now guys. Itachi Uchiha did not hesitate, as his hands blurred through hand signs, before he took in a breath and then released a gigantic fireball towards the opponent. Seeing the fire coming towards him, Naruto used his cane as he twirled the wind around him to extinguish the flames. He then snapped his fingers, setting up one of his rooms. With a quick slide of his hand, Itachi's eyes were currently resting in his palm. The Uchiha Reaper, the one that was said to slaughter his entire clan, was never more so shocked in his entire life, as Itachi couldn't understand what just happened. A moment ago he was seeing everything clearly and perfectly, and now he was looking at himself. He reached up towards his face to see if this was some sort of illusion. However, he felt the empty sockets where his eyeball used to be, and he started shaking in fear, since this was not natural in any way. You think that because you have these eyes, you naturally win, said Naruto as he pulled a vial and placed both of them in it. Well, that didn't really work out for you now, did it? As Naruto raised his cane and smacked it across his face, Itachi tried to counter his strikes, but all he could see was a warp perspective from inside the vial. He had no idea how his eyes were still working, and they were disconnected from him, but still they were still working. But he could barely make out everything as he was being smacked around. As Itachi collapsed on the ground, coughing up blood, as Naruto dipped his cane in the blood, Itachi felt more of his blood being sucked out of his body, like Naruto cane was feeding on it. As Naruto used the blood to form a sight, the cane extending and curving, he then kicked Itachi over on his back. And so ended the legacy of Itachi Uchiha, said Naruto. Slice. He took his left arm off by the shoulder. The Uchiha screamed out in agonizing pain as he looked up with his empty eye sockets. My brother will avenge me, he said. He will lead our clan to its former glory and greatness. Slice. Naruto took his other arm off. Not when I'm done with him, he won't. Itachi grit his teeth in pain. Why are you doing this, he said. To be honest, this is your fault for attacking me when I refuse to join up with your group. This is why I try not to fight when I can avoid it because you see, when I do fight, I relish in it too much. I'm a doctor so I know how to make a person suffer in the most worst ways possible. But your brother, that's another subject altogether. Leave him alone. He has done nothing to you. Now that's where you're wrong, said Naruto. Swipe, Naruto removed his legs. It was only because of Naruto's room ability why Itachi was still even conscious. Your brother mocked me for having no clan to call my own. He was one of the many, but he was one of the worst. He beat me bloody for being anywhere near him, because he claimed I was so much beneath him. I did not deserve to walk the same path or breathe the same air. He mocked me more when I lost everything, telling me that it was a sign that I should just go and end my life. You're lying. Sasuke would never do anything like that, Itachi said. Remain in denial all you wish, said Naruto as he stepped forward and picked up Itachi's arm, which had a summoning symbol on it. But in the end, it made no difference to me. I'll make your brother suffer and leave him a broken man. His death will not come by my hand though, but he would have wished it had been, just like you would. As Naruto started to walk away, where are you going, Itachi said. Leaving you to the wolf, like many has done to me before, said Naruto, as he sealed away the eyes and the arm as well. As Itachi tried to maneuver himself, but all he saw was pitch black darkness. That is when he heard growling, as he was surrounded by savage, hungry wolves. They then pounced and ripped him apart. In the flashback, they are coming, Haku said, after hearing what Naruto did to the two Estran criminals. It was true that she had seen Naruto fight and kill people in different ways, but this was a new level of gore that she hadn't known that he was capable of. Now most women would be afraid and instantly break up with the person, seeing that the person seemed to be a bit insane, but she was raised by Zabuza, who was nearly as bloody as Naruto, so to her, it did not bother her in the slightest. In a matter of fact, it actually made her feel more safe, knowing that anyone that tried to mess with her will feel his wrath. I second that, said Zabuza, agreeing to what Haku said. I take it back what I said in the bridge. You scare me shitless most of the times, he said. Glad to know I can scare someone of your caliber, said Naruto. Haku was curious about something though. So what did you do with the parts that you took from him, she asked. Well, the eyes, I implant them in myself but not directly. What do you mean, she said. I essentially liquefied them to their genetic base level and then injected them in my eyes so I gained the ability to change back in front. I will not be like the copper ninja from Konoha, whose eyes has to remain like that always, said Naruto. Didn't that hurt, said Zabuza. Naruto laughed. It would have, he said, if I hadn't experimented on myself a while back to tweak my nerves to make me don't feel pain unless I want to feel it. And let me tell you, that was painful. You know what? Forget I asked, said Zabuza. So what now, he said. Well, those scrolls, said Naruto. You two are now both citizens of the Land of Spring, a place that you can call home. Plus I can open a proper facility where people can come to instead of searching nations for me, or me searching for them. But this place, why would you need a building? I mean, this is a different dimension, right, said Zabuza. At first when Naruto told him that, he did not believe it, and he realized that Naruto was the one that created and dematerialized the door, and then he kinda believed it. Just for appearances, said Naruto. But how are we gonna afford a home? I don't have that type of cash lying around, since most of my fundings went into staying low and hiding away from the Hunter Nymphs and with Haku and Demon Brothers. Don't worry, I'll lend you the money, said Naruto, until you can get a job and pay me back in due time, or else I'll shove your head up your urethra this time, said Naruto. Zabuza lost all color in his face, as Naruto was one sick bastard, and with his room, he was capable of doing almost anything. Turning his head towards the wall, a door appeared. Zabuza sighed. He wanted someone that could protect Haku, but, well, as long as Haku was happy. Although, it was no time for him to find a woman to settle down with. Meanwhile, in the hidden mist, a sexy redhead who was looking over a map, suddenly sneezed as she rubbed her nose, as she wondered who was thinking about her. Meanwhile, in the hidden stone, Oniki sat at his desk as he sipped at his tea, as he thought about present matters. He had just gotten a scroll that was sent every few months to register those that would enter June exams in other nations. While this wasn't a problem for them because it was a common thing that happened every 3 to 4 times a year, this time the exams were being held in Konoha. He had not forgotten that it was a fact that root shinobis were the one that tried to kidnap Kurasaki's granddaughter. They were most likely going to try to breed more kunoichis and shinobis for her bloodline. Now what made matters worse, the very same granddaughter of his was up for Chunin exams with her team. But Oniki feared for her safety. She would be in a place that he could not do anything about if something went wrong in the Chunin exams, because she would have to sign a form in order to enter, saying that Konoha would not be liable for anything that happened. Kurosaki had been looking forward to this for some time now, and she had trained quite hard for it. So he was hesitant to tell her that she was not going for her own safety. Now if only she had someone that she trusted that was far more powerful to protect her. Oniki almost slapped himself as an idea popped into his mind. Why didn't he think of this before? He knew of just a person to help with this, Naruto, or as he was known through the land, the Sergeant of Death. From what he was able to see, the boy was extremely powerful, and he was also perfect because he was not registered to any shinobi village, nor was he a ranked shinobi, so he can easily pose as one if he need to be. Plus, he was sure that Kurosaki would love to spend time with her savior, if able. Since the day that she was saved by Naruto, she had upped her training drastically, as she knew that she would probably not be saved by Naruto again if she was placed in a situation like that. Yet while she trained herself day in and day out to get stronger, she would always blush or giggle. She would act completely different when Naruto was here. Oniki saw the clear sign for a crush, and he thought that this would be the perfect opportunity for them to get to know one another. Who knows, maybe they would hit it off, and they would get married and the boy could join their village properly. That would boost their reputation to have someone of his caliber in their ranks. But all of this was just wishful thinking, really. However, with a smirk on his face, he wrote down several things on piece of papers, as he called for several of his hunter-names and gave them one each, to try and find Naruto and invite him back here. Time skip. 2 weeks later, the Hidden Leaf. Minato sat at his desk, as he was deep in thought about the news that was told to him. He was happy to see that his daughter and her team had returned safe from their mission, but he was pissed that things did not go as planned. It was true that he knew the mission was far more dangerous than the client had mentioned because of Jirei's spy network. So he sent his daughter and her team, since they were some of the most powerful genins he had at the time. The plan was for them to aid the people of the wave, and they would be so grateful for their help that they would agree to Minato terms of signing a trading contract in honor of the help that they received from their hero, which he was hoping that would be Naruto. However, that was not how things played out at all, because a third party had swooped in and ended the tyrant, Gato. And the people were grateful towards that person and not Konoha. Hell, they even named the bridge after that man in gratitude. When victory was all but assured the second time in Kakashi, and Team 7 was gonna finish both Zabuza and his apprentice, that person joined in. As Minato knew, Naruto, the moment he was told, he kept himself calm like he always did under situations that would test many people's mental fortitude, but he kept himself calm. His mother and that child had been a nuisance ever since he was born. Minato only married her to get the riches of her family once he found out what happened. He tried to remove them from his life. He also stopped the boy from joining in the academy. He was also planning to have the boy join Root so that he would be out of their life. He didn't want the boy to meet Naruto and find out about their relationship, because that would have brought up so much problems that he didn't want to deal with. So he just wanted the boy gone, away from the public eye, in the background, working as a soldier of Konoha. However, now, the boy had drastically changed. What Kakashi and the squad reported back to him was rather surprising. He thought that the boy had died when he had left the village all on his own, but he was wrong. The boy also spilled a secret about him and Naruto, so he knew about that. However, Minato played it off as someone lying to get into her head as a form of distraction, and luckily she bought it. The boy had a bloodline like nothing anyone has ever seen before. Minato had spent countless hours going through bloodlines, and there was none that could weaponize blood like what he did on the bridge. Minato looked into his other side of the family, as there was no genetic bloodline coming from their side, and Minato did not possess that bloodline, so he had no idea how the boy acquired something like that. Orochimaru's attempt of stealing bloodline came to his mind, but this was never seen before, so there would be no sample of it. And to add salad to the dressing, it turns out that Naruto was the infamous Sergeant of Death. He was well liked by several people across the nations because of him going around healing people and helping others. And he had no bounty on his head, so Minato couldn't just kill him. Not to mention it would be a waste, that rare bloodline going extinct. What he needed to do was lure the boy here where he had a home field advantage and capture him. Once captured, it would be rather easy for him to have a Yamanaka to alter his mind for him to see Konoha as his home once again. However, now he had to think how exactly he was going to do something like that. Time skip, Spring Country. The past 2 weeks had been busy for Naruto and his group, as Haku and Naruto settle in a quaint, one-story house, while Zabuza moved into his own apartment. As Naruto rented a small office building to have a place of business, he had the sign placed up after making sure the place was in proper order, and a bell to notify him of anyone entering. Appointment cards are outside so people drop into the mail slot to make an appointment to him. Since opening up business, he has received numerous clients that he had no problem helping or healing. However, the work started to get a lot as more people started to file in, as Naruto needed someone to help him organize things, so he got a secretary. Her name was Yuna. She had suffered from a catastrophe in her past that left her homeless, as Naruto had taken her in. He renovated the back room so she would have a place to live, as he gave her the necessities inside, as he also taught her what to do. Luna took to the job quickly, as she was getting paid to do it. He took her and helped her, and now he was paying her as well. Yuna was happy, as that put a smile on Naruto's face, because he loved to help people. But today was different. As Naruto woke up, Haku's arm was wrapped around him as usual. Unwrapping himself, Naruto got up, a smile on his face. As Naruto glanced towards her, she was in her underwear. One might think that they were going at it almost every single day, but neither of them had done anything yet. In fact, the both of them were still pure. They were not ready for that step just yet, and they had not done anything yet. However, the more the days went on, the more braver Haku got. From sleeping in her normal clothing to sleeping in her shirt to sleeping in underwear, then just underwear alone. She was getting more brave and clingy. However, today he got to his office and he saw several scrolls from the Hidden Stone. This was an official scroll, not a normal one like he would normally get from people, as Naruto wondered what the old man had to say. He just hoped that it wasn't another attempt to ask him to join the village, because he explained to multiple people that he liked to roam and help the people that need his help out there. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, as he read, the old man wanted him to take the place of one of the Genins on Kurosaki team, to help protect her from anyone in Konoha that might try to capture her for her bloodline. The others said the same thing, as Naruto figured that only he sent multiple messengers to find him much faster. That was understandable because usually he was on the move, and it was hard to track him down. As Naruto thought about what to do, he'd always planned to go back to the village to pay his mother grave a visit, and now he had a valid reason to go back. Naruto activated the summoning seal on the back of his hand, as he summoned a crow that landed on his decks. As Naruto had used a seal and attached his arm to summon a crow a week ago, and signed a contract with them. They were upset that their previous host was killed, seeing that they were attracted to a person with a dark aura and hatred. However, the moment they laid their eyes on Naruto, he exceeded and surpassed everything that Itachi had to offer. They were happy to let him sign the contract, as Naruto wrote out his response to Onki, but on the condition that he could bring Haku as well, as she wanted to test herself in the exam as well. She had told him this a while back. Majority of her life she had been hunted by missing names, as she never had the chance to become an actual ninja and show what she could do. So why not kill two birds with one stone? Haku get what she wants, and he get to visit his mother's grave. Time skip. Naruto sat in his office as he was updating his logbook. He had a smile on his face. He had just went and made a house call to a young boy who was no older than 5 years old, who had traveled by himself for several days to find him. His mother had fallen ill, and the doctor had no idea what was wrong with her. He tried to help, but he didn't know what to do. And he told the boy that she was most likely gonna die. As the boy cried over the fact that he would lose his only parent, since his father died in a mine collapse a few years ago. One of the other patients in the clinic had mentioned about Naruto being the miracle worker, and the boy had set out and traveled, trying to find him. The town that the boy came from was not that far from the spring capital, but he was just 5 years old. That is why it took him so long, as an old man that was heading here ended up giving him proper directions and he followed the old man. Naruto had healed the old man's back, and he had asked the boy what was wrong. The boy told him everything and dumped out strange blue rocks on the table, saying that he didn't have any money to pay with, as he believed that the blue rocks were shiny and valuable, and he had nothing else to offer up as payment. The moment Naruto picked one up, he quickly conjured up a container and sealed all of them way in. As he asked the boy where he got them, the boy told him that it was the same mine that his father had passed away in. As Naruto explained to him that the rocks were glowing because of radioactivity, and they were most likely the reason why his mother was sick. The shinobi world was unaware of such a thing, as Naruto was glad to see that, because if they had somehow found a way to weaponize radiation, the world would be literally set on fire because it would be used by one village to obliterate another. The boy was confused by what he meant, so Naruto told him that being around the rocks made you sick and doctors could not heal you. The boy instantly started to worry, but Naruto told him that he could heal her though. Once all essentials were gathered, Naruto made the boy jump onto his back as he piggybacked him straight to his home. As Naruto had told the boy to stay outside, as he went inside, he had to decontaminate her before he put her in the operating room, as he told her that it would hurt as hell when he injected her with the serum. Her screams proceeded to echo through the town as many people had came to her aid, but the boy told him that they couldn't go inside. Once the radiation came to the surface, Naruto was able to drain it all out. He then took her to the operating room and he removed the damaged tissue and removed the damage on the organs. He then gave her 2 weeks worth of medicine to recover from any ill effects. She was thankful for him helping her, but she had no money to pay for his services, as Naruto was infamous for making people pay for his services with money or their life. She was surprised when he said that he would not charge her for this. She had to ask him why. He told her that he lost his mother when he was 5 years old and he was alone in the world. He didn't want the boy to suffer the same fate. However, Naruto had a reputation to uphold, so he told her to tell people that she had paid him. As Naruto told the boy that the mother would be okay, as he told him to give him the rocks as well. The boy handed them over and thanked Naruto so much, as Naruto took them and grind them all into a powder. For a long time now, Naruto has been working on a poison for her opponent that he would face in the future. Many would think that this opponent was Minato, but it was not. There was someone out there that Naruto was working on the poison for, and the radiation was the last thing that he needed for this poison. And now that it was completed, Naruto placed it in a special freezer to conserve it. It was long after that the Tishikage sent Naruto another note. Oniki agreed to his terms and told him that he should arrive as soon as possible so they could speak about the upcoming Chunin exams. Naruto smiled as he told Yuna to mind the place and to let people know that he'll be gone for a while, as he pulled out a small stack of bills so she could buy what she would need in his absence. As once that was done, he went home to tell Haku, as Naruto opened up the operating door. As they stepped inside for a few minutes, which wasn't necessary because it only took 15 seconds, but Haku took the time to kiss him while they were in there. Once they were done, the door opened up. As they stepped out not too far away from the hidden stone, the guards saw the door, as they smiled, as they knew Naruto well. As Naruto had a standing agreement with Oniki to never use the door to infiltrate the village, and he had a free passage. And since that day, Naruto had held up his point by arriving a little distance away from the village gates, as Naruto didn't have any reason to be sneaking into anyone's village. After all, he was not a spy. Along the way, Naruto waved at the people who saw him, as Haku saw the people smile and waving back towards him. They finally arrived to see Oniki smoking on a pipe, as Naruto had prescribed some medicinal herbs that would calm and relax the one that smoked them. "Hello, Gramps," said Naruto, as him and Haku sat down. "Ah, hello, Naruto," Oniki said, as he tapped the ashes in a small tray. Oniki had a calm, relaxed smile on his face, the herbs calming his system and making him relax. "We're here like you requested." Unki was one of the few people in this world that Naruto respected greatly. The man was willing to throw himself into harm's way to protect his family. It didn't matter for his condition or his health, just to make sure that the ones they loved was okay, and that was something that Naruto greatly respected. He already lost his children, so he took it upon himself to raise their daughter, to make her as strong as possible, to protect herself against anyone that might come after her in the future. So where's our squad mate, said Naruto. Ah, she should be here shortly. I told one of my men to get her not too long ago. As if right on cue, Kurosaki arrived in the room, dressed in her genuine gear, and a pack, filled with supplies. I'm here and ready to go, she said, as Kurosaki was excited to go with her crush. If all goes as planned, he would be her boyfriend in no time. Where's Akisaki? Is he late, she asked. Well, about that, Unki said in a nervous chuckle. He had never gotten around to explain that Naruto was in a relationship, so her plans for snagging him for the possibility of them traveling was, well, not possible. He will not be joining you for the exam. She raised an eyebrow. So who's our third member? She already heard that the third member was being replaced by Naruto, but to hear that Akisaki was being replaced as well. Hello there, as Haku got up and politely bowed. My name is Haku Momokai. Nice to meet you, Haku, Kurosaki said as she bowed as well. While on the outside she seemed calm and okay, but on the inside, she was livid. The plan was to spend as much time as she could with Naruto on the way to Konoha, and since there will be another male there, it wouldn't be a problem. However, for all she knew, this girl was also trying to make a move on Naruto as well, which would not happen over her dead body. Haku saw the look in her eyes. She knew that Kurosaki was in love with her boyfriend, as she planned on trying to seduce him on this trip, but Haku was here, as she smirked to herself, because Naruto was already hers. Naruto clapped his hand together. So now that you ladies have gotten acquainted, there's a few people that need my help, so shouldn't we be heading out towards Konoha, Kurosaki asked, as she did not know that Naruto would conjure up doors to travel all over the elemental countries. Naruto did not really hide it, but he did not really broadcast it either. If we're gonna make it in time, we have to leave by tonight. Not really, said Naruto, since I can easily get us there in about 15 minutes. How? She said in surprise. There was only one person she knew that could do something like that, and Naruto was not Minato Namikaze. I have my way, said Naruto with a shrug. Gramps over there know how I can, so I'm a bit surprised that you don't know about it, said Naruto. But you will just have to wait until tomorrow for that. So Gramps, is the usual room available, said Naruto. I have notified the hotel in advance, so they know that you're coming, Unki said. Every time Naruto came here, he stayed in the same room so people know where to find him once he was there. It was a single bedroom, but Haku was used to sleeping with him, so that was not going to be a problem. Good. Now if you'll excuse me, said Naruto. I have some money to make and people to heal while I'm here. So let's meet up at the front gate at 9 in the morning. That way we can eat breakfast before we head out towards Konoha. As Haku left soon after, she was going to do some shopping while here. Kurosaki groaned, as she had waken up early to pack her stuff, but they were not even going to leave today, so she had more time. However, as she watched Haku leave, her groan turned into a growl. She snapped her head towards her grandfather, as she was about to be very vocal that he didn't tell her about this girl coming along. Several hours later, there wasn't anyone that needed major surgery. They just wanted his help because Naruto could heal things that took months in just a few hours. Once all of that was done, Naruto made his way to the hotel room, only to arrive to see Haku there in lingerie. Apparently, she had been giving him sudden clues over the past few weeks. However, he did not really take well to them, so she was gonna say blunt what she wanted. And not to mention the other girl who was crazy about her boyfriend. So she was gonna stake her claim, so to speak. Within moments of him entering, she lashed her lips onto his own. As for Naruto, he was kind of oblivious when it came to women. Sure, he fell in love with Haku, but his mind was always focused on rare medical herbs, acquiring things that needs to help and heal people. And also, there was a part of his mind that was locked away for those who had ruined his childhood and take away his happiness. As he never really thought about the pleasure of the flesh, but right now, that was all he could think about. While this was happening, Kurosaki had arrived at the hotel, as she snuck past the night shift crew. As she was gonna make her move tonight, she had to do something after all. At first she wanted to take everything slow. However, this woman, she was a big problem and she needed to do something about it, otherwise she might lose him. Arriving there, she pulled a lockpick out as she started slowly pick the door. It was late, and she was not expected here at this hour. She just glad that the woman that he came with was in another room. However, as she opened the door, she heard something. A sound. She slowly closed the door behind her and stepped into the sitting room. As she noticed there was a sound coming from the bedroom door, she crept across the floor as quietly as she could as she stood at the bedroom door and placed her ear against it. Her eyes went wide as realization kicked in very hard as she realized what was going on in there. They were having sex. She stepped back as she felt her heart jump a beat. She was too late. There was no mistaking it as she heard everything, every noise, every sound, every word. After a few minutes, it started to get to her really badly as she could not stand anymore. She had to leave or she might do something stupid. However, she refused to give up. So what if she got Naruto to do it with her first? She would find a way. After all, she did have a few tricks up her sleeve. Yes, she would find a way. The next day, as Naruto and Haki were already at the front gate, when Oniki and his granddaughter arrived, Kurosaki eye twitched as she arrived to see Haku. With a happy smile on her face, she seemed to be in a really good mood today. So, who will be the person that will play the part of our Jonin instructor, said Naruto. Well, the original idea was to have Han and Roshi do it. But I don't trust those in Konoha to not already know of their status as Jinchuriki and try to do something. And I'm not just gonna hand over what village killed for so easily. While the world thought that the Hidden Stone was a village that hated their Jinchuriki, that was so far from the truth, it was crazy. It was all a diversion, all a trick. Majority village out there tried to offer Han and Roshi a better life. Or some of them even tried to plan against the Hidden Stone, thinking that Han and Roshi had great resentment for the village. And Roshi and Han would always report this back to Oniki. So who will it be then? That will be Eagle here, Oniki said, as Anvu appeared a mask and lightly bowed. Hey Brian, said Naruto. Oniki was a bit shocked, as Anvu's identity were kept secret, even to those in the village, and yet, Naruto, who wasn't a part of the village, knew who the Anvu was. How do you know who this man is, Oniki said. Oh, that's simple. He was one of my patients here in the past. I have a perfect memory when it comes to my patients. So how many of my Anvu members do you know the identity of? Honestly, I have no idea. It's not like I recognize their face. I just recognize their body, or their hair, or skin color. You don't have to worry about me divulging such things. After all, I'm not even a shinobi. I'm just a doctor, said Naruto. I take my confidentiality quite seriously because I do have a reputation to uphold. But I personally don't care for politics and I stay out of such things. Well, as long as you remain truthful, I don't have any problem with it, Oniki said. So please keep my granddaughter safe from those who would try to kidnap her. Oh, that shouldn't be a problem, said Naruto with a small chuckle. When those who would attempt to do such a thing hear that the infamous Sergeant of Death is in the village, their eyes will always be on me, and I attempt no more than 3 attempts for them trying to convince me to join their village, or them just straight up kidnapping me. Well, Kurosaki will be safe though, as long as I'm there, said Naruto. Of that you give your word, Oniki said. You have my word, Gramps, said Naruto. You know me too well to cast any doubt on my word. That I do indeed, he said. Well, I wish you all luck. You still haven't explained how we're gonna get to Konoha. So quickly, said Kurosaki, as she was still wondering how they were gonna do that. Well, we will simply walk through this door, said Naruto as a door materialized out of thin air in front of them. Kurosaki's eyes widened by that as she's never seen this before. Once through, we only have to wait at least 15 minutes, then I can summon another one near Konoha because I've been there before. So you're telling me that you have a mean to teleport long distances like the Hokage from Konoha escape bluff? In a way, yes, but while he's able to teleport fast and kill people with his technique, I'm only able to bring people in my operating room and then open a door near to the place I've been before. Sure, I had the advantage of not using C like he does. However, my technique does need to recharge, so it's not really used for fighting, said Naruto. Oh, she said, as it made perfect sense to her once he explained it like that. Well then, said Naruto as he opened the door. As they enter inside, once they did, they vanished. Oniki smiled as he knew that his granddaughter would be safe. An hour later, they didn't leave. Minato just finished speaking to the various shinobis that would be in charge of security for the Chunin exams. As he was about to leave, a shinobi rushed inside. Hokage-sama. I'm here with news, he said. Speak. The Sergeant of Death. He has entered Konoha. Minato was shocked by hearing that. For some time now, he has been trying to get a hold of the Sergeant of Death to convince him to join the village. Other villages were doing that for the last time he checked, so he didn't feel in the wrong for doing such as well. He had Danzo use his root forces in the shadows to try and capture him. However, they all failed. Minato believed that was one of the main reasons why Naruto never come to Konoha and did business with them like he did with the other nations, but he wasn't sure. But now that he was in his village, he will do whatever possible to make him stay. Once he sent out the shinobi, he used the intercom to tell the secretary to call a specific shinobi for his plan. Meanwhile, Naruto had separated himself from the other three people of his squad, as the Jonin captain was watching Kurosaki and Haku as well. Naruto had memories of this place as he walked. 95% of those memories were bad, as Naruto twirled his cane. Rage inside of him was boiling over. One day soon, all those who ruined his childhood, he will make them pay. He will make them all suffer. But eventually he found the store that he was looking for, a flower store. However, seeing who was inside, he had to suppress his rage. She was also on his shit list as well. She was one of them that screwed him up when he was younger. She had used her family technique to mess with his mind. A harmless prank, perhaps, just to cause him some problem. However, she was young and she had no actual idea of what she was doing. She messed with his mind worse than she even knew. Or if she did, they all just did it to torture him. Because he was a nobody. The worthless commoner. The one that did not deserve to breathe the same air as them because he was a clanless waste of space. He was told that many times when he was here. He would make her pay for her specific type of pain towards him. And he had the perfect means of doing so. He walked up to the counter and ordered a dozen daisies as he paid. She did not even recognize him. Of course she would not. As Ino was having a bad day, so she was not in the mood to talk. Her plan of getting Sasuke to notice her did not work out. And now she had to man her family store. As Naruto was not surprised that none of them recognized him. When he was younger, his hair was long and ragged. You could barely see his face. And he was always in torn up clothing. He was alone, he had nothing. Not to mention the mental abuse, it broke everything about him. His forwardness, his ability to communicate properly, everything. However, now he was the complete opposite. As Naruto walked towards the cemetery, there was a lot of things that he never got to ask his mother. However, through the journal that he took, he was able to find out a lot. Daisies were her favorite flowers. Daisies, a common flower. As the rest of her family did not like them, their mindset was, you either like what they like or, well, you were not one of them. That is why they were planning to marry his mother off to someone twice her age, because she did not abide by what they did. Her family was a very abusive one. She could not make a name for herself, she could not be who she wanted to be, because you had to be like them, spoiled, pretentious, and downright corrupted. But his mother was not like that. She was different, sweet, kind, gentle. Thinking about her brought a smile to his face. However, his smile turned into a snarl as he remembered that man as well. The man that her family wanted to marry her off to. That man has been married on several occasions and his wives had always mysteriously disappeared. But because he had money, he was never charged with anything. It turns out that he had been abusive to his wife. And whenever they did something that pissed him off, he went a bit too far sometimes, physically harming them until he snapped. And he was able to discreetly get rid of them. However, Naruto made sure he spilled all of that. This was a monster that her family wanted to marry her off to. Minato saved her, and for that his mother saw Minato was a hero, but he was a wolf in sheep clothing. But as for that man, Naruto had made sure to make his last moment on this planet nothing but agonizing pain and suffering. Hearing the things that he did to his previous wives, Naruto could not allow a single cell of that man to remain, so he melted him down into nothingness. As Naruto arrived, all his mother grave had was her name and year of death. There wasn't much people there to fill in the blanks. Using his hand, Naruto brushed away the dirt. "Hey mom," said Naruto, as he set the daisies down. "It's good to see you again after such a long time. I know I didn't say goodbye before I left, and for that, I'm so sorry." As Naruto sat down and started to speak, he spoke of his adventures and his dream for the future. He spent 3 hours there as he was finally getting the closure that his spirit so desperately needed. I always remember the song you sang to me. To calm me down when I had a nightmare, said Naruto. He glanced up towards the heaven as his eyes started to water at those nights. As a few tears slipped past his eyes. As a song. It was sung in his head. His mother's gentle voice. He could hear it. That brought a smile to his face. However, it brought up so much grief. As he lowered his head. If only I could have saved you. If only I could have done something back then. But now things are different. I'll make them all pay. I'll make them all suffer for what they did. I swear it to you, mother. I'll make them all pay. As he got to his feet, he took his hat off as he placed it to his chest, as he bowed his head. He then turned as he walked towards the village. The exam started in about 4 days. But he knew how quickly word spread in this village. So he was certain that various people knew that he was here. Not to mention Minato, already knew that he was here already. But he would deal with that issue when the time came. As he walked to his hotel room, he bumped into a person that he was not expecting. Sasuke Uchiha, one of the most arrogant people in this entire world. Hey, Sasuke growled. Apologize. You just rudely bumped into a Uchiha elite. Naruto chuckled. Uchiha elite, huh? As Naruto then turned around and Sasuke saw his face. But let's get this right. You only got that title because of elimination of the other. Sasuke fell as he dropped to his butt in fear after seeing Naruto's face. His hands went towards where his balls once were, as he remembered the pain. I'm surprised that I bumped into you of all person. What do you want from me? Sasuke said. For most of his life he was told that he was elite by various people, and that got to his head. Yet when his clan was killed by Itachi, he learned that, well, he needed to bridge the gap between their strength if he was going to kill him in the future. But then he had met Naruto, who maimed him and removed his balls, shattering his dreams of even killing Itachi when he showed the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke was many things, arrogant, narcissistic, but suicidal was not one of those things. Sasuke knew the way he was right now, he had no chance in hell of defeating Naruto. What I want? Oh, it's simple. To return what I took, said Naruto as he pulled out a vial. There was a yellowish liquid in it, with 2 testicles floating. What? Sasuke said, not expecting this in the slightest. Like I said, I want to give these back to you. Sasuke wasn't sure what to say in this situation. But let's back up a bit here, said Naruto. While I wish to give this to you, you're not free in the slightest. What I hold in my hand is your future, because without this, you will be the last of the Uchiha to exist. What do you want? Sasuke growled. To give you the same chance I got. To be great through the elemental countries. It may seem hard to believe, but I was born from nothing into nothing. I had not a cent to my name and I lost my mother when I was 5, so I had no one to raise me. Yet even with all those challenges against me, I still rise to the occasion and became what I am today. However, you've been piggybacking off the Uchiha name for the longest time now. And even though they're dead, you continue to drag their name through the mud with your actions. So my price, which is non-negotiable by the way, I want everything of value that your clan has. All the money in your accounts, anything of value sold, and the cash added to my fee. You're insane if you think I'm going to pay that, Sasuke yelled. True, said Naruto as he twirled his cane. But you don't really have a choice in the matter. Look at it this way. You can either be the richest and last Uchiha in existence, or you can be the poorest one and rebuild your clan in the way you wish it to be. In either way I don't really care, so it's up to you. Either I get paid or I get to live with the knowledge that I managed to make the Uchiha clan go extinct. Because that's quite the claim to make in this world, said Naruto. So pay me what I want and I will restore your testicles back to the way before I took them. Sasuke didn't know what to say here. But the silver lining here, you get to keep your clan houses and all the juices that your clan has. Because unlike you, I don't steal what hard work go into, said Naruto. How can you dare say that when you yourself has stolen my brother's eyes? Actually I can. Because in all honesty I only use this eye to perform surgery that the normal eyes cannot see, things that is needed for operations. Sure, I stole his eyes, but I'm using them for a good cause. It's not like I'm copying other people's abilities or styles. So this is a one-time offer, now choose. If you choose to keep your riches, I'll destroy the future generation of Uchihas right here and now. And how am I to know that you will do what you say if I pay you, Sasuke said. I'm appalled, said Naruto. I'm a doctor, and I take my job very seriously. To state otherwise is a grave mistake, and I'm tempted to just destroy these right here and now, said Naruto. Wait, Sasuke said. Fine. I'll pay you what you ask. So it's a deal then, said Naruto as he held out his hand in an open palm. As Naruto pulled out a scroll, Sasuke saw that it was blank as Naruto pulled a vial out with blood. The blood was poured onto the scroll as word for word what Naruto said happened. It was written out right in front of Sasuke. If you agree, just sign right here. Sasuke was freaked out to see blood just form like that. But he shrugged it off. Fine, he said. Give me a pen. Oh, I have it right here, said Naruto as he pulled out a pen. But know this, if the due date come and you have not paid, your life is mine to do with as I wish, and this time, I'll remove them again in the most painfulest way possible, and then I'll take your eyes out, and then I'll slash up your face with horrendous scars, and then I'll give you the most painfulest sex change that has ever been achieved in this world, and you will get to live the rest of your life as an abnormally ugly woman for the rest of your life. That is the result of what will happen if you go back on the ordeal. Sasuke gulped as he felt a lump in his throat. I'll pay, he said. Good, said Naruto as he snapped his finger once Sasuke signed. As Naruto made his operating door appear beside him. Well then, if you will kindly step through this door, we can get this operation done in 15 minutes then. You will have until the end of the Chunin exams to pay me in full, said Naruto with a smile. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification to be posted. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon, peace.